loved them more than they ever tried. You gave everything. Your time, your heart, your hope, while they handed you crumbs. Now, every memory stings like salt in an open wound. But hear this, starving for love that wasn't meant for you is not your destiny. It's time to stop replaying the pain. Stop begging for what was never yours to keep. Today, you begin feeding your soul, not chasing someone who never truly saw your worth. Chapter 1. Stop blaming yourself for their choices. You didn't fail. Say that again. You didn't fail. They chose not to try. That's the raw, painful truth that you have to face right now. Love isn't some test you take alone, hoping to pass by doing all the right things. It's a two-way street. It requires both people to show up, to invest, to care. And when that doesn't happen, it's not because you messed up. It's because they decided not to meet you halfway. You have to understand where your responsibility ends and theirs begins. This is the hardest lesson to learn because your heart wants to fix everything, especially what feels broken inside you. But love isn't a project you can manage alone. You gave your best, you showed up. If they didn't, that's on them. You didn't cause their absence. You didn't create the distance. You didn't make them choose you less. Think about someone you know, maybe even yourself, who kept making excuses for their partner's neglect. They're just busy. They're stressed. They don't mean to hurt me. Each excuse was a bandage over a wound that kept getting deeper. Every time you apologized for their absence, you chipped away at your own worth. Stop that now. Stop apologizing for their absence. You don't have to explain why they didn't love you the way you needed. Their lack of effort is not your fault. Practice this with me. Say out loud, "This wasn't my fault." Feel the words. Let them sink in. Because when you own that truth, you start owning your peace. You refuse to carry the weight of their mistakes. You refuse to be the person who takes on the blame for something they never caused. This is your moment to claim freedom from that burden. It's tempting to replay every moment in your head, searching for the one thing you could have done differently. That's the trap. You're not a puzzle piece they couldn't fit. You're a whole person who deserved a partner willing to try. They showed you who they are by walking away or not showing up fully. You have to let go of the idea that if only you had been better, things would have turned out different. The painful truth is that sometimes, no matter how good you are, some people just won't try. Stop waiting for closure that's never coming. Closure isn't something they owe you. It's something you create for yourself by understanding that their choices reflect their own limitations, not your worth. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation to move on. When you stop blaming yourself, you stop giving them power over your healing. Now, here's what you need to stop thinking. Stop telling yourself you're not enough because they didn't fight for you. Stop believing that love should feel like constant struggle or that you have to beg for it. Stop thinking that their indifference means you didn't deserve better. None of that is true. You deserved someone who chose you every day without hesitation. When they didn't, it wasn't because you were lacking. It was because they weren't ready or willing to be what you needed. Instead, start doing this. Practice setting boundaries with your own mind. When the blame creeps in, catch it. Say, "That's not mine to carry." Write it down if you have to. Repeat it until it feels like a shield against the pain. Remind yourself daily that your self-worth is not tied to their actions. Your value is inherent, not conditional on someone else's choices. You might feel guilty for feeling angry or hurt. That's normal. But don't let guilt make you take responsibility for their failure to love you properly. Your feelings are valid, and you have every right to them. Don't apologize for being human and wanting to be loved. apologize for expecting kindness and effort. Remember, love isn't about sacrifice when it's one-sided. It's about mutual care. It's about showing up for each other. You showed up. They didn't. That's the truth, plain and simple. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your peace and refusing to carry their mistakes as if they were your own. When you stop blaming yourself, you take back your power. You stop being the victim of their choices and become the hero of your own story. You have to let go. Let go of the blame, the guilt, the endless what-ifs. They already showed you who they are. Now it's your turn to show yourself who you are. Someone worthy of real love, real effort, and real respect. This chapter ends here, but your journey doesn't. Next, we'll dive into how to recognize when love is truly one-sided. Because seeing the truth clearly is the next step toward healing. You don't have to stay stuck in the pain of their absence. You don't have to wait for them to change. You just have to learn to see clearly so you can finally move on. Chapter 2. Recognize when love is one-sided. If you're the only one fighting, you're already losing. Hear that. You're already losing. Love isn't a solo mission. It's not a one-person show where you hustle, beg, and bend yourself into a shape they might like. Real love demands effort from both hearts. It's a give and take, a push and pull that feels balanced, even when it's tough. If you find yourself always reaching, always stretching, always bending, it's not love. It's a one-sided battle that wears you down until there's nothing left but exhaustion and confusion. Remember those nights? The ones where you lay awake, staring at your phone, hoping for a call, a text, any sign that they were thinking of you too. You know those nights well. You stayed awake, tangled in your own thoughts, replaying every word and every silence. You imagined what they might be doing, who they might be with. Meanwhile, they moved on. They lived their life without you in the frame. That's not love. That's longing for a ghost. A shadow of what you wanted, not what was real. It's painful, yes, but it's also a wake-up call. You don't have to stay awake, waiting for a ghost. You have to stop waiting for closure from someone who never intended to give it. That's a hard truth, but it's the truth. They already showed you who they are. Not just once, but over and over. If they cared, they would have stayed. If they loved you, it wouldn't have felt like a one-sided fight. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their acknowledgement to move on. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. About reclaiming your peace, your self-respect, your heart. Set clear boundaries. This is crucial. Love that drains you isn't love. It's exhaustion in disguise. When you find yourself constantly second-guessing, constantly hoping, constantly lowering your standards just to keep a connection alive, it's time to step back. Protect your heart by stepping back. You owe yourself that much. You owe yourself the freedom to breathe without anxiety, to live without that constant weight on your chest. Boundaries aren't walls to keep love out. They're fences to keep respect in. They say, I deserve better. They say, I am worth more than this. They say, I will not lose myself in a love that doesn't lift me up. When you set those boundaries, you're not shutting the door on love. You're opening the door to a love that sees you, values you, and fights for you with the same fire you bring. Confusing effort with suffering. Effort feels like fighting for something precious. Suffering feels like losing yourself in the process. There's a difference. You deserve effort that feels like partnership, not punishment. If you're always the one making sacrifices, always the one bending, always the one proving your love, then you're carrying more than your share of the weight. Love isn't a test you have to pass by suffering more than the other person. Love is a dance where both people move toward each other knot away. You might still find yourself thinking, maybe if I try harder, if I love more, if I change, it will be different. That voice inside you is tired, but it's also scared. It's scared of being alone, scared of the silence, scared of facing the truth that they weren't the one for you. But you have to listen to the deeper voice of the one that says, enough. Enough waiting for someone who won't meet you halfway. Enough hoping for a love that's as one-sided as this. Enough carrying a heart that's breaking under the weight of unreciprocated affection. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel disappointed. Those feelings are real and they matter. But don't let those feelings chain you to a love that's already left. Your pain doesn't have to be proof that you failed. You didn't fail. You loved. You gave. You showed up. That's strength, not weakness. Now, it's time to be strong for yourself. Strong enough to say no to love that doesn't see you. Strong enough to walk away from a relationship where you're the only one fighting. When you step back, you give yourself the chance to heal. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means acknowledging the pain without letting it define you. Healing means learning that your worth isn't tied to their love. Your worth is inherent. It's there, even when love fades, even when the other person stops trying. You don't need their love to feel whole. You don't need their attention to be enough. So start by recognizing the signs. If you're always the one initiating, always the one apologizing, always the one hoping, that's a sign. If they disappear when you need them, if their words don't match their actions, if you feel more tired after being with them than you do on your own, that's a sign. Trust those signs. They're your heart's way of telling you what your mind might not want to accept yet. Stop making excuses for their absence. Stop rewriting the story to make them look better. You already have the truth. They showed it to you in how little they fought for you. Real love doesn't make you question your worth. Real love doesn't leave you guessing if you're enough. Real love means two people choosing each other again and again, even when it's hard. It's time to choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your healing. You don't need to wait for their call anymore. You don't need to hope they'll suddenly see what they lost. You don't need to hold on to a love that's only hurting you. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for closure. You have to step back and protect your heart. This isn't about giving up on love. It's about giving up on the wrong kind of love. The kind that drains you. The kind that leaves you empty. The kind that only you are fighting for. You deserve a love that lifts you up, that makes you feel safe. That's a partnership of two whole people choosing each other every day. Remember, the battle you're fighting now isn't with them. It's with the idea that love should hurt this much. It's with the belief that you have to fight alone to be loved. It's with the fear that letting go means losing everything. But you're not losing everything, you are gaining yourself back. You're reclaiming your heart from the one-sided fight. As you move forward, keep this close. Love requires two fights, two hearts, two wills. If you're the only one fighting, you're already losing. Protect your heart by setting boundaries. Stop longing for a ghost. Step back from the exhaustion disguised as love. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. And you deserve a love that's real. Now that you've recognized this, you're ready for the next step. It's time to grieve without guilt or shame. Because healing starts when you honor your pain, not bury it. When you stop blaming yourself for their choices and start grieving what you lost with compassion for yourself. That's where real healing begins. Chapter 3. Grieve without guilt or shame. Heartbreak is a storm. It doesn't just pass in a moment. It rages, it howls, It drenches you in cold, relentless rain. And you have to sit in it. You have to feel it. There's no shortcut. No magic pill that dries your tears overnight. You can't speed up the weather inside your soul. So stop trying. Stop telling yourself you should be over it by now. Stop bottling up the pain because you think it makes you weak. It doesn't. It makes you real. It makes you human. The storm is fierce because the love was fierce. The depth of your grief is the measure of what you gave. Don't silence that. Don't hide it. Let it be loud, messy, and raw. I knew someone, a friend, who buried her sadness deep. She smiled, she laughed, she acted like the heartbreak never touched her. But inside, she was crumbling. She held it in until one night when the dam broke and she couldn't stop crying. She was exhausted, broken, and lost because she never gave herself permission to grieve honestly. Her healing stalled because she pretended she was fine. You don't have to be like that. You don't have to fake strength. Real strength is in the allowing. Let yourself hurt. Let the tears fall. Let the anger scream inside you. This isn't about being strong for anyone else. It's about being truthful with yourself. If you push the sadness down, it will find its way out in other, uglier ways. If you pretend the storm isn't there, it will only drag on longer. The only way through this is through the storm itself. It's okay to feel raw. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel lost. These feelings don't mean you're broken beyond repair. They mean you're healing. This is the soil where strength begins to grow. You can't plant a seed in dry ground. You have to dig into the dirt, feel the mess, and let the rain fall. That's how roots take hold. You might be tempted to rush your grief because it hurts so much. You might want to quiet the pain because it feels unbearable. But rushing is a trap. It's like trying to outrun a tidal wave. You'll only get swept away. Give yourself permission to be where you are. You don't need to move on anyone else's timeline. You don't owe anyone your quick recovery. This isn't a race. It's a process. One that demands honesty, patience, and a brutal kind of self-love. Remember, you loved them more than they ever tried. That means your heart is bruised in places you didn't even know could hurt. That's okay. It's part of the healing. Part of learning to love yourself again, without conditions, without expectations, without the need for their validation. Stop thinking you have to hold it together perfectly. Stop telling yourself you should be stronger or less sensitive. The truth is, your sensitivity is your strength. It's what made you love deeply. It's what makes you capable of healing deeply, too. Start by giving yourself daily permission to grieve. Make it a small ritual if you have to. Maybe it's a moment in the morning where you acknowledge your pain. Maybe it's writing down what you feel without judgment. Maybe it's allowing yourself to cry in the shower or in the car. Whatever it takes, do it. Don't deny the storm. Face it head on. Stop thinking you have to explain your feelings to anyone. You don't owe anyone a justification for your grief. You don't owe them a timeline. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. Your heart, your pain, your healing. And when you feel the anger rising, don't shove it down. Let it out safely. Punch a pillow. Scream into a pillow. Write a letter you don't send. Anger is a natural part of grieving. It shows you're still alive. It shows you're still fighting for your own peace. You might feel lost, like you're wandering without a map. That's normal. This storm doesn't come with directions. You have to create your own. And that's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep moving forward, one small step at a time. Stop waiting for closure from the person who hurt you. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology to heal. closure comes from inside. It's the moment you stop chasing what was never meant for you and start chasing what you deserve. Grieving without guilt or shame means you acknowledge the pain without blaming yourself. You accept your feelings without judgment. You give yourself the grace to be imperfect and to heal imperfectly. This is your journey, not theirs. You have to let go of the idea that you should feel a certain way because someone else failed you. You didn't fail. You loved. And love is messy and complicated and sometimes painful. But it's also the source of your strength. Every tear you shed, every night you spend awake with your heart aching, you are building resilience. You are learning that you can survive this. You are learning that your heart can be broken and still beat strong. So grieve. Grieve hard. Grieve honestly. Let yourself feel everything, because this storm will pass. And when it does, you will stand in the sunlight, stronger and wiser than before. This isn't about erasing the past or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about accepting it, honoring it, and finally letting it go. You don't have to rush. You don't have to hide. You don't have to be ashamed. This is your pain, and it deserves your full attention. Let the storm come. Let it rage. And when it's ready to pass, you will know. You will feel it in your bones. Until then, give yourself permission to be exactly where you are, because healing starts with that truth. Next, we'll talk about a crucial step on this path. Stop chasing closure from the wrong person, because closure isn't something they give you. It's something you claim for yourself, and understanding that will change everything. Chapter 4. Stop chasing closure from the wrong person. You keep waiting for a text, waiting for a call, waiting for them to explain, waiting for that one conversation where everything makes sense. Stop. Stop waiting for closure from the wrong person. Closure isn't a talk you have with them. It's a decision you make for yourself. You don't need their words to start healing. You need your own permission to move forward. Think about it. How many times have you replayed that last goodbye? Over and over, like a scratched record stuck on the same painful note. You hear their voice in your head, the silence that followed, the things they didn't say. You play it again, hoping this time it ends differently. Hoping this time you'll get the answers you deserve. But it never changes. It never will. Because closure isn't about them giving you what you want. It's about you deciding to stop giving them that power. You have to let go of the idea that closure comes from them. Because it doesn't. It comes from you. It comes from making peace with the fact that some answers will never come. From accepting that some people never try as hard as you did. From realizing that waiting for their honesty only keeps you stuck in the past. They already showed you who they are. Stop waiting for change. Stop waiting for closure. Choose your own ending. Imagine someone playing a goodbye on repeat. Every word, every silence, every look. It's a loop that steals your breath and steals your future. You can't build a life while stuck in that loop. You can't heal when you're trapped in yesterday. You have to break free. You have to decide that the story ends here. Not because they gave you a neat ending, but because you are done carrying the weight of their silence, their absence, their indifference. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them a chance to explain. You don't owe them your peace. You don't need their apology to heal. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You can write your own ending. You can say the words they never said. You can tell yourself the truth they wouldn't admit. Write it down if you have to. Write the letter you'll never send. Write the goodbye they never gave you. Write the love you gave that went unanswered. Write the betrayal you felt. Write the relief you crave. And burn it. Burn the paper. Let the smoke carry away the pain. Let the ashes remind you that you are choosing to be free, because your peace doesn't depend on their honesty. It depends on your courage to let go. It depends on your strength to stop chasing something that was never yours to catch. It depends on your willingness to stop being stuck in their story and start living your own. Stop blaming yourself for their silence. Stop blaming yourself for their choices. You didn't fail. Say it again. You didn't fail. Their silence, their absence, their lack of closure. It's not your fault. You gave what you had. You loved with everything. But they chose not to meet you there. They chose not to finish the story. That's their choice, not yours. You have to stop waiting for closure, because that waiting is a trap. It's a trap that keeps you looking back when you need to look forward. It's a trap that keeps you in pain when you deserve peace. It's a trap that keeps you hoping for something that won't come. You don't need their answers. You don't need their explanations. You need your own affirmation that you are enough, with or without them. When you stop chasing closure from them, you reclaim your power. You take back your time and your heart. You stop being a prisoner to their silence and start being a guardian of your own peace. You are no longer stuck on their terms. You are no longer waiting for a conversation that won't heal you. You are choosing yourself. You are choosing to live beyond the heartbreak. This is hard. It's one of the hardest parts of heartbreak. Letting go of the story you thought you'd have. Letting go of the hope that they'll come back with answers. Letting go of the fantasy that closure is something they owe you. But it's necessary, because your healing depends on it. Your future depends on it. Your heart depends on it. You don't have to wait for them. You don't have to wait for a sign. You don't have to wait for a conversation. You can start today, right now. You can say, I'm done waiting. I'm done hoping. I'm done chasing closure from someone who never cared enough to give it. And then mean it. Mean it with every fiber of your being, because that's how you begin to heal. Your peace is not a prize they give. It's a gift you give yourself. It's a decision to stop living in the shadows of their absence and start walking into your own light. It's a choice to stop being defined by their silence and start defining yourself by your strength. It's a promise to yourself that you will not be held hostage by unanswered questions. Remember what you learned before. You didn't fail. You are not the one who lost. You are not the one who walked away. You are the one who stayed open when they closed off. You are the one who loved when they stopped trying. Now, it's time to love yourself enough to stop waiting for closure you'll never get from them. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you. This is about reclaiming your heart. This is about choosing to create your own ending and stepping into your future without looking back. Because your future deserves more than the pain of unanswered goodbyes. Your future deserves your courage to stop chasing closure from the wrong person. And when you do that, when you finally decide to stop waiting for them, you will be ready for the next step. You will be ready to reclaim your worth outside their approval, because you are worth more than their silence. You are worth more than their absence, and you are worth the love and peace you choose to give yourself now. Chapter 5. Reclaim your worth outside their approval. You are not less because they didn't see your value. Say it again. You are not less. Their blindness is their loss, not your truth. When someone fails to recognize what you bring to the table, it doesn't erase the worth you carry inside. It doesn't shrink your light. It only means they couldn't see it. And that's on them, not on you. You don't need their approval to validate who you are. You don't need their recognition to prove your value. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you reclaiming what's always been yours. Think about this. Countless people have walked through heartbreak and come out stronger. Not because someone finally told them they were enough, but because they started telling themselves. They stopped waiting for validation from the person who never gave it. Instead, they focused on their own strengths, their kindness, their resilience, their laughter in the face of pain. They rebuilt their confidence by looking inward, not outward. You can do the same. You have to, because the alternative is staying stuck, waiting for a nod you'll never get. You have to stop thinking that their silence or indifference changes your value. It doesn't. Their lack of appreciation doesn't make you invisible. You are here. You are real. You matter. You have to start hearing that from yourself. Every morning when you wake up, list one thing you love about yourself. It can be small. It can be simple. I'm kind. I'm funny. I'm a good friend. I'm brave. Say it loud enough so the empty space they left behind doesn't feel so deafening. Make your self-love louder than their silence. This is not vanity. This is survival. This is reclaiming your soul, piece by piece. It may feel like you are scrambling for pieces of yourself that got misplaced in the chaos of loving someone who didn't try as hard as you did. That's normal. But here's the truth. You aren't broken beyond repair. You aren't shattered beyond recognition. You are whole, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Your worth was never tied to how much they loved you or how much they tried. Their lack of effort was never a reflection of your value. You have to let go of the lie that you have to earn love or approval. You don't. You are worthy just as you are. Remember the lessons you've learned so far. You didn't fail. You fought with everything you had. But if you're the only one fighting, you're already losing. They already showed you who they are. Stop waiting for closure. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. And part of that is rebuilding your sense of worth apart from their opinion. You have to build a foundation that no one can shake. A foundation that starts with loving yourself fiercely and unapologetically. Try this. Make a list of your strengths. Not the things you wish you had, but the things you actually have. The things you do well. The qualities that make you, you. Maybe you're loyal. Maybe you're creative. Maybe you're patient. Maybe you fight for what's right. Write them down. Keep this list somewhere you can see it every day. When the old doubts creep in, when the loneliness whispers lies, look at that list. Remind yourself of who you really are. Remind yourself that they missed out on all of this. Can't control how others see you. You can't make them recognize your worth or appreciate your goodness. But you can control how you see yourself. You can control the story you tell about who you are. So start telling a new story. Tell a story where you are enough. Tell a story where you don't need anyone else's approval to feel whole. Tell a story where you love yourself louder than the silence they left behind. It's okay to feel broken sometimes. It's okay to miss what you thought could have been. But don't let those feelings make you forget your worth. Don't let them convince you that you need someone else's approval to be valuable. You are whole, complete, and enough. You just have to believe it. You just have to say it over and over until it's louder than the pain. And when you wake up tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, keep listing one thing you love about yourself. Do it even if it feels forced. Do it even if your heart feels heavy. Because this is how you heal. This is how you take back your power. This is how you reclaim your worth outside their approval. You don't need them to see it. You already do. You've been through the storm. You've grieved without guilt or shame. You've stopped chasing closure from the wrong person. Now it's time to build yourself back up. Not for them. Not for anyone else. For you. Because you deserve your own love more than anyone else's. You deserve a love that doesn't depend on being seen or approved. You deserve a love that starts and ends with you. This is the turning point. This is where you stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop chasing. You start loving yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to let go of their blindness and focus on your own vision. Your vision of yourself as someone worthy, valuable, and whole. The next step in this journey is learning how to love yourself like they never did. Because that's where real healing begins. That's where your true strength lies. Keep going. You're closer than you think. Chapter 6. Learn to love yourself like they never did. You have given away pieces of yourself for so long. You bent your needs, your wants, your entire being to fit someone else's mold. You did it because you thought love meant sacrificing yourself. But love doesn't mean losing yourself. It never did. When you drain your own well trying to fill theirs, you end up empty, cracked, and dry. You have to understand something crucial. Self-love isn't selfish. It's survival. If you don't fill your own cup, no one else will. You will keep showing up half empty, hoping someone else will pour you a full glass. That hope is a trap. That hope keeps you waiting in the dark, thirsty and cold. You have to learn to love yourself like they never did. Not because they failed you, but because you deserve it, because you need it. Remember the last time you said no to your own needs to please them. Remember that moment when you swallowed your feelings so they wouldn't feel uncomfortable. That moment when you ignored your own hunger for attention or affection because you thought theirs was more important. That ends now. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to make yourself small to make someone else feel big. Prioritize your happiness unapologetically. If they can't meet you there, that's their loss. You have to stop waiting for their approval. You have to stop chasing the idea that they will suddenly see your worth. They already showed you who they are. It's not about them anymore. It's about you. Start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire world overnight. Healing isn't a race. It's a series of small steps taken over and over again. Today, say a kind word to yourself. Tell yourself you're enough, not someday, not when you've lost 10 pounds or gotten a promotion. Today, look in the mirror and say, I am worthy. It might feel strange. It might feel like a lie at first. That's okay. Keep saying it anyway. Those words are seeds planted deep in the soil of your heart. They will grow. They will take root. You don't have to be perfect at it. You just have to be consistent. Take a moment alone. No distractions. No noise, just you. Breathe. Feel your own presence. Listen to your thoughts without judgment. It's scary to be alone sometimes, especially after loving someone who filled the silence with their voice. But this silence is not empty. It's space for you to rebuild, space for you to reconnect with who you are without them. You are not less because they left. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a whole person who was cracked open, and now you get to heal. One breath at a time. One moment at a time. Set a boundary. Say no to something that doesn't serve your peace. Maybe it's a text you don't want to reply to. Maybe it's an invitation that stirs up old pain. Maybe it's a habit of putting others before yourself. Boundaries are not walls. They are gates. Gates that protect your heart from being trampled again. They are acts of rebellion against heartbreak. They say, I will no longer accept less than I deserve. You have to be ruthless with your boundaries. Protect your peace like your life depends on it because it does. You have to understand this. Loving yourself is not a reward. It's not something you get after you've fixed all your flaws or after you've been through the pain long enough. Loving yourself is the foundation. It's the ground you stand on before you build anything else. You loved them more than they ever tried. That's true. But now, it's time to love yourself more than you ever thought possible. Because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you, your survival, your growth, your freedom. When you fill your own cup, you stop depending on others for validation. You stop needing someone else to tell you you're worthy. You stop waiting for a text, a call, an apology that may never come. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their love to survive. You need your own love. You need your own voice. You need your own hands to hold you when no one else will. This is hard. It's painful. But it's also the most powerful thing you can do. Because when you love yourself fiercely, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your story. You reclaim your life. Think about the last time you put yourself last. The last time you swallowed your pride to keep the peace. The last time you ignored your own tears to dry someone else's. That ends now. You have to stop apologizing for needing care. You have to stop pretending you don't hurt. You have to stop shrinking to fit into someone else's life. You deserve to be bold. You deserve to be loud. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to prioritize your happiness without guilt. You deserve to put yourself first. If you're thinking, but what if I'm being selfish? Stop. That voice is the echo of old wounds. Self-love is not selfish. It's self-respect. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. It's the difference between waiting for someone to save you and saving yourself. You have to choose you every single day, even when it's hard, even when it feels impossible, even when you want to crawl back into the shadows of what was. You have to choose to stand in the light of who you are becoming. Healing is not linear. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will feel weak. Some days you will love yourself fiercely. Some days you will hate yourself for the pain you're in. That's okay. It's all part of the process. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep speaking kindly to yourself. Keep setting those boundaries. Keep taking those moments alone. Keep planting those seeds. You are growing. You are healing. You are moving forward, even if it's just a tiny step. You loved them more than they ever tried. That truth hurts, but it doesn't define you anymore. What defines you now is how you respond. What defines you now is how you choose to love yourself, how you choose to fight for your own happiness, how you choose to build a life that doesn't depend on someone else's love. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you, your survival, your freedom, your future. You have to let go. Let go of the idea that their love will come back. Let go of the need for their approval. Let go of the stories you tell yourself about what you did wrong. You didn't fail. You didn't break. You just loved too much. And now it's time to love yourself enough to heal, to grow, to be whole again. This chapter is your turning point, your moment of rebellion against heartbreak, your declaration that you will no longer wait for someone else to fill your cup. You will fill it yourself. You will pour your own love back into your heart, because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. Next, you will learn how to let go of the what if and maybe someday. You'll learn how to stop living in the shadows of what could have been and start stepping into the light of what will be. But for now, hold this truth close. You have to love yourself like they never did, because that love will carry you through the darkest nights and into the dawn of your new beginning. Chapter 7. Let go of what if and maybe someday. Have to stop poisoning yourself with what if. Those two words are like a slow drip of acid eating away at your heart. What if they had loved you the way you loved them? What if you had said something different? What if you had stayed longer, fought harder, tried again? Stop. Just stop. Those questions don't hold answers. They hold chains. They keep you stuck in a past that never was and never will be. You can't rewrite history. You can't live in the space of someone's maybe or there could have been. It's a trap. It's a trap dressed up as hope, but it's a trap nonetheless. Maybe someday. Maybe someday they'll see what they lost. Maybe someday they'll come back. Maybe someday things will be different. Maybe someday you'll feel whole again. Maybe someday you'll be happy. Those words promise something. They promise a future that feels safe. But the truth is, maybe someday is a mirage. It keeps you waiting, frozen, waiting for someone else to fix your broken pieces. You're waiting for a love that never came. You're waiting for a chance that was never really yours. Imagine someone who spent years waiting. They waited for a love that never returned. They waited for calls that never came. They waited for texts that never arrived. Their life passed by while they stood still. Seasons changed. Friends moved on. Opportunities slipped through their fingers. All because they were clinging to what if and maybe someday. Don't be that person. Don't waste your life standing still, waiting for someone who already walked away. You owe yourself more than that. You deserve to live fully now, not in some shadowy future that exists only in your mind. You deserve certainty, not the endless doubt that gnaws at your soul. You deserve to say out loud, I deserve more than a maybe, and mean it. You deserve to build a life that doesn't hinge on someone else's indecision or absence. You deserve to reclaim your time, your energy, your heart. You have to let go of the illusion that they'll change, that they'll come back, that things will be better if you just wait a little longer. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about your healing, your freedom, your future. Holding on to what if and maybe someday is holding on to ghost. It's holding on to pain that you don't have to carry. You know the truth already. They already showed you who they are. That's what you have to accept. Not with bitterness, not with anger, but with clear eyes and a steady heart. They chose their path. You have to choose yours. And your path doesn't lead towards someone's maybe. Your path leads to certainty, to love that is real, to a future you create, not one you wait for. When what if creeps in, when maybe someday whispers in your ear, stop and say to yourself, no more. No more waiting. No more hoping for someone to come around. No more giving your heart to someone who doesn't see its worth. You didn't fail. You didn't fail because they never tried. You didn't fail because they never stayed. You didn't fail because their love wasn't enough. You have to stop waiting for closure from the wrong person. They don't owe you that. You don't need their apology to heal. Your healing is your responsibility. You have to decide to step off the sidelines of your own life and start playing again. Your life is happening now, not in some distant maybe someday. Letting go of what if and maybe someday means choosing yourself. It means saying yes to your own worth. It means building a life that doesn't depend on someone else's uncertain love. It means being brave enough to close the door on a chapter that was painful and open a new one, even if you don't know what's next yet. Even if it feels scary. You might wonder, how do I do this? How do I stop thinking about them? How do I stop waiting? It starts with being honest with yourself. When you catch your mind wandering to what if, say it out loud. This is poison. This is not true. When you find yourself dreaming of maybe someday, remind yourself, this is a trap. I deserve more. Then fill that space with something real. Take small steps toward certainty. Focus on what you can control. Your morning routine, your self-care, your friendships, your dreams. Build rituals that ground you. Write down your feelings, but don't let them rule you. Choose actions that affirm your worth every single day. It's not easy. Nothing worth healing ever is. But it is necessary. You are not less because someone else never showed up. You are not less because they never fought for you. You are not less because their love was limited. You are whole. You are enough. You are worthy of love that doesn't come with a question mark. You are worthy of certainty. So say it again. I deserve more than a maybe. Say it when you wake up. Say it when you go to sleep. Say it when the silence gets loud. Say it when you feel weak. Say it until you believe it so deeply that it becomes your truth. Because it is. When you let go of the poison of what if and the trap of maybe someday, you open up space for real healing. You create a foundation for love that starts with you, not with someone else's promises or absence. You create a life where you don't have to wait anymore. You create a life where you are the one who decides your worth, your happiness, and your future. This isn't about rushing into something new. It's about being patient with yourself. It's about learning to stand on your own, knowing that your value is not dependent on anyone else's love. It's about building strength through solitude, not isolation. Because solitude is a choice. It's a place of growth. It's where you meet yourself again and remember who you are without them. You've carried so much already. Now, it's time to put down the heavy weight of what if and maybe someday. You have to let go. You have to choose certainty over doubt. You have to say, I deserve more than a maybe, and mean it with every fiber of your being. Because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have the power to stop waiting. You have the power to say no to the ghost of a love that never was. You have the power to rewrite your story, starting right now. The next chapter of your healing journey is about building strength through solitude, not isolation. Because you deserve to stand tall on your own 2 feet before you open your heart again. Chapter 8. Build strength through solitude, not isolation. You are not the noise you hear in your head. You are not the chaos of someone else's leaving. When the world feels loud with absence, you have to learn to be quiet. That quiet isn't loneliness. It is a place you can build strength. Real, lasting strength. You have been told that being alone means being lonely. That solitude is a punishment, a void to be feared. That is a lie. Solitude is not emptiness. It is the space where you meet yourself without distractions, without the noise of their absence, without the constant echo of what if. Being alone is your refuge, not your sentence. It's where you discover who you are beneath the heartbreak. Remember, you are not less because they left. You are more than the pain they caused. You have to let go of the idea that you need someone else to fill the silence. The silence is where you find your voice again. It's where you listen to your own breath, your own heartbeat, and you start to know what it means to be whole on your own. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You've been running from the silence. You've been filling your hours with distractions, with scrolling, with talking, with anything but sitting still. That's understandable. The silence is terrifying when it first arrives. It's like staring into a dark room and not knowing what's inside. But that dark room is where you store your truth. It's where you keep the pieces of yourself you lost trying to love someone who never really tried to love you back. You have to step into that room, even if it shakes you. You have to find the light switch. And when you do, you will see yourself clearly. Unfiltered, unedited, real. Think about someone you admire, someone who endured pain and didn't let it break them. Someone whose strength was quiet but fierce. Their power wasn't in loud declarations or dramatic gestures. It was in the way they showed up for themselves every single day. They used their alone time to grow, to heal, to rebuild. They faced their fears and their loneliness and said, I am not afraid of this space. You can be that person. You already are that person, even if you don't feel it yet. Strength isn't the opposite of pain. Strength is what rises from pain. Turn off the noise. I mean it. Turn off the phone, the social media, the endless updates about everyone else's perfect lives. Stop comparing your messy, raw journey to their highlight reels. You don't need that noise. You need your own voice. You need your own thoughts. Reflection is not passive, it is active healing. It is the work of getting to know your heart again. Write in a journal. Don't worry about grammar or punctuation. Write the ugly truths, the messy feelings, the things you don't say out loud. Breathe deeply. Feel your body, your pain, your resilience. This is not weakness. This is courage. Solitude is where you reclaim your power. When you stop waiting for them to come back, to apologize, to explain themselves, you free yourself. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their approval to heal. You don't need their love to be whole. You are enough. And being alone teaches you that in a way no one else can. It's a hard lesson, but it is the most important one. You might feel lonely sometimes. That's normal. But loneliness is temporary. It is a feeling, not your identity. Solitude is your choice. It is the deliberate space you create to nurture yourself. You don't have to fill every moment with noise or company. You can sit with yourself and find peace there. You can find strength there. When the nights feel long and your mind racing, remind yourself, this silence is not empty. It is full of possibilities. It is where you plant the seeds of your new self, the self that loves without losing themselves, the self that knows their worth without needing constant reminders, the self that can stand alone and still feel whole. You are not alone in feeling afraid of solitude, but you must face that fear, because true isolation is what happens when you feel alone but aren't connected to yourself. That's dangerous. That's where despair lives. But solitude is a sanctuary. It's where you learn to be your own best friend, to hold your own hand, to whisper kind words to your own broken heart. This is not a quick fix. It's a slow, steady process. Some days you will want to run from yourself. Some nights you will want to drown out the silence with anything but your own thoughts. But keep coming back. Keep choosing solitude over isolation. Keep choosing yourself over the pain of missing them. It's not easy. Nothing worth healing ever is. You loved them more than they ever tried. That hurt sinks deep. But your love was not wasted. It taught you what you want and what you deserve. Now use this time alone to build boundaries, to set standards, to learn how to love yourself fiercely and without apology. You don't need anyone else to complete you. You are already whole. So tonight, when the world quiets down and your heart feels heavy, turn off the noise. Sit with yourself. Breathe. Write down the pain and then write down the hope. Because hope is there, even if it's buried under layers of fear and sadness. It's there, waiting for you to find it in your solitude. This journey you're on, it's about trust. Trust that better things are coming. Trust that this pain is making you stronger, not weaker. Trust that you can survive this alone because you are not truly alone. You have yourself, and that is enough. You have to let go of the idea that healing is about finding someone new to fill the void. Healing is about filling the void yourself, with your own love, your own strength. It's about becoming the person who no longer waits for someone else's approval to feel worthy. This is a turning point. You have stopped blaming yourself. You have recognized when love is one-sided. You have grieved without guilt. You have stopped chasing closure from the wrong person. You have reclaimed your worth outside their approval. You have learned to love yourself like they never did. You have let go of what if and maybe someday. Now, you stand alone, not lonely, but strong. And from this strength, you will step forward. You will trust that better love is waiting for your strength, because it is. It always was. And now you are ready. Chapter 9. Trust that better love is waiting for your strength. Pain is heavy. It feels endless. But it's not. It's temporary. Your heartbreak, raw and loud, will not last forever. The ache in your chest, the endless nights replaying memories thee, won't always have this power over you. This is the truth you need to hold onto right now. Pain is temporary. Strength is permanent. You have been through storms before, even if this feels like the worst. You survived each one. You will survive this one too. When you heal, when you get up off the floor and wipe the tears from your face, you are not just recovering, you are preparing. Preparing for a love that is worth your fight. A love that doesn't drain you, but fuels you. A love that matches your effort without demanding you lose yourself. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not less because someone else failed to see your worth. You gave more than you should have, and that's on them, not you. You loved harder than they tried. But now, it's time to stop chasing a love that never truly chased you back. Think of someone you know, or someone you've heard about, maybe even yourself, who found love only after letting go of the chase. When they stopped running after someone who didn't run after them. When they stopped begging for a place in someone's heart that was never meant to hold them. That breakthrough, that moment where the clouds part and the sun shines through that, is waiting for you. It's on the other side of your pain, just beyond the hurt. This is not about rushing your healing or pretending the pain doesn't exist. It is about trusting that this pain is shaping you. It's forging your strength. Each tear, each sleepless night, each ache in your chest is building a foundation for a love that won't demand you surrender. You have to stop convincing yourself that love means losing yourself. It doesn't. The right love will never ask you to dim your light or shrink your voice. It will meet you where you are. It will mirror your effort. It will lift you up instead of tearing you down. Hold on to this truth. The right love will match your effort, not demand your surrender. You don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. Not to them. Not to yourself. Stop waiting for closure from someone who never intended to give it. They already showed you who they are. You have to let go. You have to stop poisoning yourself with what if and maybe someday. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. Your strength. Your healing. What can you do right now? Stop thinking you have to fix yourself overnight. Healing is slow. It's messy. It's not neat or linear. But every small step forward counts. Every moment you choose to breathe through the pain instead of running from it is a victory. Every time you remind yourself that you deserve better, you are building strength. Start by setting boundaries not just with others, but with your own thoughts. When the what-ifs creep in, catch them. Name them. Then push them aside. Replace them with truths you know to be real. You are worthy. You are enough. You are not less because they couldn't love you fully. Next, lean into your solitude without letting it become isolation. Reach out to people who remind you of your worth. Friends, family, even a therapist. You don't have to carry this weight alone. Strength grows in connection, not in silence. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to say no to anyone who doesn't honor your healing journey. And yes, sometimes healing means saying no to yourself. No to the part of you that wants to pick up the phone and call them one more time. No to the part that wants to scroll through old messages or replay old conversations. You have to protect your heart. You have to guard your peace like it's sacred because it is. Remember, pain is temporary. Strength is permanent. When you heal, you are not just surviving, you are preparing. Preparing for a love that will meet you halfway, that will fight for you without breaking you. You loved them more than they ever tried, and that was your truth. But your healing is your power. You don't need their apology to move forward. You don't need their recognition to find peace. Your breakthrough is waiting for you, just beyond this pain. Trust it. Trust that better love is waiting for your strength. Now hold on to that. Let it steady you when the nights feel endless. Let it remind you that this isn't the end of your story. It's a chapter, painful, yes, but necessary. You are learning to love yourself like they never did. You are building strength through solitude, not isolation. And soon, you will move forward with fierce, unapologetic hope. Chapter 10. Move forward with fierce, unapologetic hope. Hope isn't a fairy tale. It's not a naive wish whispered into the dark. Hope is brave. It's a fist raised in defiance of the pain that tries to keep you down. Hope says, I will love again. Not the same way, not blindly, but better, wiser, stronger. This isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing to believe in yourself when the world feels like it's crumbling beneath your feet. Hope is the stubborn flame that refuses to be snuffed out by heartbreak. You have been here before. You have survived before. Remember that. You survived the nights when your chest felt too tight to breathe. You survived the days when every memory stabbed like a fresh wound. You survived the moments when you thought you would break, and yet here you are, not unscathed, but unbroken. The same you who survived before will survive this time. This time is no different. The pain is fierce, but so are you. Your heart has been cracked open before. It has bled before, and it has healed before. You are not a stranger to resilience. You are a warrior in the battle of love and loss. Say it out loud. I am done settling. Not just done, but done with a fire burning in your soul. Done with the small, lukewarm versions of love that left you empty. Done with the half-truths, the broken promises, the silent goodbyes. You deserve more. You deserve a love that doesn't ask you to shrink yourself. You deserve a love that sees you, that values you, that holds you up instead of tearing you down. This is the day you declare your worth to the universe. This is the day you stop waiting for someone else to show up and start showing up for yourself. You walk into your future with fire in your veins, with hope clenched tightly in your fists. Hope is not pretending the past didn't hurt. It's acknowledging the scars and saying, these are mine. They tell my story. Every scar, every tear, every sleepless night is proof you loved fiercely. You loved with everything you had. And that courage is not wasted. It is the foundation you build on now. You don't erase the past. You learn from it. You take those lessons and use them as fuel. Fuel to love more wisely, to set better boundaries, to recognize the love you deserve before it even tries to slip away. You survived every heartbreak before this one. Think about that. It wasn't easy. It still isn't easy. But you are here. You're still breathing, still standing. That strength is in you. It's part of your story. You don't have to wonder if you'll get through it again. You already have. The pain feels like a tidal wave ready to pull you under, but you've learned how to swim. You've learned how to keep your head above the water when everything inside you wants to sink. This time, you're not just surviving. You're preparing to thrive. Stop telling yourself you'll never love again. Stop telling yourself you're too broken or too tired. Those lies come from the place where pain tries to control you. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too tired to love. Your capacity to love is not diminished by their absence. It grows. It expands. It's waiting for you to open the door. When you do, you'll find a love that matches your strength. A love that honors the fire inside you instead of trying to put it out. Declare it now. I am ready for the love I deserve. Say it like you mean it, because you do. You are not settling anymore. You are not letting fear or loneliness make decisions for you. You are choosing yourself, choosing your peace, choosing a love that doesn't ask you to settle for less than you're worth. This declaration is not just words. It's a promise to yourself, a promise to protect your heart fiercely, to guard it wisely, to never let someone's unwillingness to love fully dim your light again. Walking into your future with fire in your veins means carrying your pain and your hope side by side. It means showing up every day with the courage to keep trying, to keep believing. It means refusing to let past heartbreak define your worth or your capacity for joy. It means healing isn't linear. Some days feel like progress. Some days feel like falling back. But you get up, again and again, because hope is relentless. Hope is fierce. Hope is unapologetic. You have to let go of the idea that moving forward means forgetting. It doesn't. It means making peace with your past so it doesn't hold you hostage. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their validation to move on. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you, your life, your love, your future. The road ahead is uncharted, and that's okay. You don't have to know every step. You just have to keep walking. Stop waiting for closure from someone who never gave you a beginning. Stop waiting for them to come back or to fix what they broke. They already showed you who they are. The rest is just noise. Your job now is to turn down the volume on that noise and turn up the volume on your own voice. Your voice that says, I am worthy, I am enough, I am ready. You don't have to be perfect to deserve love. You just have to be you. Remember, you are not less because they didn't see your value. You are not less because they chose to walk away. You are whole. You are enough. And you are ready. Ready to love fiercely, to protect your heart fiercely, to hope fiercely. Because hope is not a weakness. It's a power that will carry you through the darkest nights and into the brightest mornings. So breathe in that power. Let it fill your lungs and your soul. Let it remind you of your strength, your resilience, your courage. You have loved deeply. You have been hurt deeply. And now, you will love again fiercely, unapologetically, and with hope that burns brighter than ever before. This is your turning point. The moment you stop settling for less. The moment you start living for more. The moment you choose you. The moment you walk forward with fire in your veins and hope in your heart. Because you have survived. You have healed. You have grown. And now you are ready. Ready for better love. Ready for the love you deserve. Ready to move forward boldly, bravely, and with fierce, unapologetic hope. You arrived broken, but you won't leave that way. You faced the raw truth, peeled back the lies, and claimed your worth. Heartbreak tried to bury you, but you dug yourself out and found strength beneath the pain. Now, this is your turning point. Not just to survive, but to thrive. Keep feeding your soul with kindness, boundaries, and self-love. Remember, you are enough exactly as you are, and better love is waiting for the fierce whole you. So stand tall, breathe deep, and step forward. Your healing doesn't end here. It only begins. Keep going, keep growing. You've got this.